inspiring session. Onward we go, forward we march. Best wishes from Ram Ratna International School. Namaste and welcome to Aadharshila Talks at RRIS. Aadharshila is a platform for intellectuals converging from diverse spheres of knowledge to share novel, deep, and insightful ideas of intellect that fuel thought, conversation, and action of the minds of our audience. We believe in fostering ideas that are both highly relevant and radically different to enrich the minds of our audiences. Joining us on this platform from across the country and the world, we strive to bring you the most accomplished and inspiring speakers that ignite invaluable knowledge sparks to spread the light of continuous learning and development among educators, teachers, administrators, students, and parents. RRIS is delighted to host you on this delightful journey by facilitating this platform as our way of giving back to the community and stakeholders that keep us motivated. And of all things, we expect just one thing from you to share this light of knowledge with your friends, family, peers, and your network. Do invite them to register for these sessions or subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ram Ratna International School Official. Thank you for joining in today, and we look forward to an inspiring session. Onward we go, forward we march. Best wishes from Ram Ratna International School.
Namaste and good afternoon, everyone. Namaste, Dr. Kavita Aggarwal, ma'am. I hope you're able to hear me, ma'am.
Hello. Namaste. Namaste.
Hello. Namaste and pranams to you. How are you doing, ma'am?
Good, good. Thank you.
What an honor and pleasure to have you here at Aadharshila Talks at RRIS. With your permission, we would like to formally begin with the introduction and the session.
Yes, please.
So, namaste, everyone. Thank you for being there with us right from the first talk till today. That is 74th Aadharshila Talks at RRIS. You are the wind under our wings. We cannot express how thankful we are to you as much as we are to each of our Aadharshilas who have given us this confidence and their support, of course, along with sharing their wisdom. During the pandemic, this has been one bright ray of hope for all the educators. So we thank all the educators for keeping up with what they do wonderfully well and being together as one circle of hope, circle of strength for each other. I think today's speaker is a brilliant example of someone who has always given hope to educators. Ma'am is known as someone who can build leadership, who can create leaders. She is currently serving as the director and head of Educationist International School in Mumbai. Ma'am is the chairperson of MISA, that stands for Members of International Schools Association. as a part of MISA Executive Committee, I have been working very closely with ma'am, and I can vouch for what I say when I say that she creates leaders, she instills and nurtures leadership. Through her actions, through her thoughts, through her vision, I have personally been learning a lot. So it's a pleasure, ma'am, on behalf of Ramratna International School to invite you. Ma'am has been in the field of education for the last 4 decades. She has led several reputed national and international schools. Ma'am specializes in setting up new schools affiliated to Cambridge, UK, and CISCE curriculum. Dr. Aggarwal has been closely associated with training and mentoring of teachers, including vice principals, principals, and administrative staff. Ma'am is the chairperson of MISA, a prestigious organization which she founded with other members, and it currently caters to 110 Cambridge schools in the country. This fantastic body, MISA, has been founded in 2007, and for close to 14-15 years, it has been serving the educators, students, all the schools that are affiliated to Cambridge and are part of MISA. There are more than 100 international schools, leadership, under ma'am's leadership as the chairperson of MISA. Ma'am has also been associated as a chief academic advisor of JVCN Group of Schools in Mumbai. MISA empowers teachers and school leaders in managing the curriculum and resolve administrative issues. It helps schools to set themselves up for a successful journey as a Cambridge school by providing academic supports to teachers, guiding them with curriculum and policies. It also conducts workshops for teachers, provides platforms for students to exhibit various skills that they possess. Ma'am is an efficient trainer, very effective trainer, conducting training programs for work and workshops, counseling sessions for teachers and for students with learning needs, with special needs. Dr. Aggarwal believes that all-round development of students means their development in IQ, SQ, EQ, and AQ, along with physical development. Ma'am has been training teachers and parents through seminars and especially about experiential learning. I think we could not cover what all Dr. Aggarwal is all about. And today we take the opportunity of learning from her wisdom and from her experience, a topic which is of relevance to each and every educator who is concerned about children, who's concerned about effectiveness of the lesson, each and every lesson that a teacher delivers in the class. The word effective has several facets. So I cannot go into the depth, but I am quite clear that you all have an idea of what effective means, and you would all want your lessons to be effective. Once a child learns in your class, whether that child is able to internalize that learning and bring it into the real world or not defines whether your teaching has been effective or not. So think of children as learning how to learn, becoming self-learners for life, rather than simply parroting information or copying techniques from teachers or their peers. Learning is not necessarily an outcome of teaching. So friends, let's understand from Dr. Kavita how we as educators ensure effective learning in our classrooms. Do the classes need to be different for different children? What is it that we can employ? What tips and techniques that we can employ in our classes to ensure effective learning happens? So over to Dr. Kavita Aggarwal. Once again, my gratitude and reverence to you. Over to you.
Namaste, everyone. Namaste. I'm so happy to see Madam Vaz also here. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us.
Namaste, ma'am. Mrs. Vaz. Good afternoon. Ma'am, you're on mute. Mrs. Vaz is on mute.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am. It's a blessing to have your presence here.
It's my duty.
Aadharshila Talks.
Yeah.
So kind of you. Thank you, ma'am.
So I would like to extend my thanks to the principal of Ramratna Vidya Mandir, Dr. Jaya Parekh, who has given me opportunity to share my expertise and knowledge with the audience, especially the teachers. So I would begin my small talk with a small story that when I was doing my B.Ed, I was asked to do action research. And I visited a couple of schools. And when I visited a school which was in granting aid and vernacular medium, so I observed that the teachers were taking the class in a very, very casual manner. A teacher who was sitting on the desk and just talking to the children, other teacher who was busy correction and the children were loitering around, third teacher who was actually opening the peas and she was preparing for her dinner. So that kind of a work was going on in the class, and it was a sheer waste of children, their valuable time. So from that time, the entire thing triggered in me that the teacher is the only source who can bring about change in the child's life. And if the teacher can waste so much of time and ruin this children's life and the time, I mean, it's a necessity to empower the teachers first and then talk about the education. Therefore, I started working on it, and finally I landed up doing my research in education management with the topic of excellence in education management through teachers' effectiveness in the international schools of Mumbai. So this is how I have proceeded, and empowering the teachers is actually a passion. Now, to begin with, we all are the product of the classroom. And we remember that which teacher was the best, and I relate to her, which is my favorite subject because my teacher was very good and I understood the subject well. I don't like math because my teacher did not explain me well and I was not comfortable. So everything is related and spinning around the teacher. So let me begin explaining everybody that how we are going to go about. Just a minute, let me share my PowerPoint. Just excuse me, give me one minute. Let me share my PowerPoint. Why Windows it is not coming? Can she help me? Why it is not coming through my Windows?
What happened, ma'am?
See, I am trying to share.
Ma'am, we can see it. Ma'am, you are able to present now. No, I was able to see it's gone. Yes.
Okay. So, can you see now?
Yes, ma'am.
You can see my presentation, right?
No,
Jaya, can you see my presentation now?
No, but the presentation. I can see your screen, but not the presentation.
Ma'am, now go to the PowerPoint where it is open.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Stop presenting. Again, I go to window.
Ma'am, if you want it to open on window, put it on the presentation mode first, PPT.
Yeah. PPT is open.
Yes, ma'am. You put it on the presentation mode, ma'am, PPT.
It was happening. I was very comfortable sharing it earlier.
Yeah, while having the trial, it went smoothly. It happens.
If I open my full screen, then
you click on entire screen option, ma'am.
Yeah, full screen I shared.
Shared.
Then
now open the PowerPoint, ma'am. Just go to the PowerPoint where it is placed.
Can you see now?
It's not.
No, ma'am.
I said sharing. Can you see now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now we can see.
Okay. Now you can see full screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So yes, sorry, I'm so sorry for this technical glitches. We are little old-fashioned people. So ensuring effective learning. Now, as I said, that we all are the products of our classroom, and we relate our studies, our education to the classroom directly. So I would like to today explain that how do we ensure effectiveness through learning through classroom management. Management is a subject which gives you systematic studies, which actually analyze your path towards any kind of a goal. So if we are going to ensure our effective learning, why not to use the principles of management? Therefore, we should go ahead with certain kind of principles over here. Now, first we have to identify what is classroom. What do we mean by classroom? The classroom actually consists of, first of all, intellectual environment. Now, this is a place where lot of knowledge is bombarded, lot of sharing takes place, and one is mentor and another is mentee. So the entire intellectual environment is there in the classroom. Second, classroom also consists of physical environment. How attractive the classroom. I do not mean here attractive means the beautiful decor or beautiful design. No. I have seen certain classrooms in Chennai and in Nashik where there are only few benches are there. There are old-fashioned benches are there, even though the walls paints are peeling off, but the classroom is a talking classroom. Everywhere you will find there something is there to read, something is there to interact, something is there to play with. So that is the physical environment where the child actually enjoys and it attracts the child. Now, next classroom is the emotional environment where the child has got his teacher, his peer, his friends, and where he can share his feelings, where he can actually give support to each other. And the classroom also consists of emotional environment. Next classroom consists of the social environment. Like in pandemic, these two, emotional and social environment, were totally missing. The children were not able to share their feeling with each other. They were not able to socialize. They have forgotten their actually protocols and the kind of etiquettes we teach the children. I have seen now in my own school, when after the pandemic, grade 8 to 12, when they came to the school, they forgot when the teacher comes to the class, they have to stand. They have forgotten this is a small thing. Secondly, they have even forgotten to wish their children. They have forgotten to actually sit in a group. Of course, we do not allow them to sit in a group, but these are the basic things we were missing, and these are the special features of the classroom. Next, in this pandemic, the most important feature of the classroom is a digital environment. So far we were online, and we are going to be online for some more time. So there is altogether another different kind of environment in the digital classroom. Well, most of the time there is a one-way traffic. Most of the time there is only raise your hand, type on the chat box. You are not able to open up. Therefore, we say that during digital world, the growth and development has hampered to 80%. So only the knowledge has been gained, but the entire sensorial learning and physical learning has hampered like anything. So this is what the classroom is all about. And now next we will see how teacher is going to make use of this classroom to the best of its capabilities. Now next we will now say what is management. How the classroom is related to the management. So there are very basic 5 principles of management anywhere. Either it's a big organization or a small classroom or a big school or your home. So where the class has to be planned properly. The teacher has to see that the classroom, your lessons, your content, your knowledge, your worksheets, your written material, your online material, everything is planned properly. Planning is key to success in any kind of a managed scenario. Second is organizing. Suppose the teacher is going to conduct a class. How has she organized the whole class? Has she kept her resources properly? Has she given the proper instruction to the students? Has she planned the time, or has she planned the in-class work and out-class work? So these are the organization skills which are very, very important from the management perspective. Next, we come to implementation. Now, most important, whatever you plan, whatever you organize, if it is not implemented properly, the effectiveness is zero. Therefore, a best teacher is always who can go in deep inside to the child and bring the best of his intellect. So implementation, if the pedagogy or the classroom methodology is effective and child is happy and he has got what you wanted to give, is the best implementation. And there can be permutation, combination, so many things can be joined together. The result should be that the child should understand what you have taught him and he should be happy by the end of the day. Next comes to evaluation. After planning, organizing and implementation of your classroom, your content, your knowledge, you have to test. Now testing may be done in any form. It may be in the form of a game, it may be form of a writing, it may be form of a rubric testing, it may be form of any kind of a role play, a game, or it's kind of even simple painting. What you have understood, paint it. What you have understood, teach your friend. What you have understood, explain it to the teacher. The evaluation can be in any form. Basically, it's a testing of teacher's teaching. What she has taught is to be tested during the evaluation. Next we come, whatever the children have not learned and I feel as a teacher I'm not able to complete it, or I have not justified, or it is not proper, I take the feedback from the children, from the parents, from the children, from the peers, and I need to revisit and improvise. So this way, planning, organizing, implementation, evaluation, and feedback is a cycle which makes the classroom most effective classroom, and it ensures the systematic learning in the classroom. Now, why classroom management is so important? Now, naturally, to make teaching learning very effective, if it is not effective, why should we sit in the classroom? Why not we go in a corner and read the book? To keep the students engaged all the time, this is one of the very, very important element of Cambridge education, attribute of Cambridge education. So when the child is a student, he should be engaged all time. Not necessary that 8 sessions or the period of the day, but after the school hours, what kind of activity the teacher is giving to keep the child engaged, either in the physical activity or creative activity or hobbies or what it is. Next is to create the creativity. Also, classroom management also means that how you are going to bring out the creativity from the child. Sometimes even the teacher can be a learner and the student comes up with a brilliant idea. To help student to get maximum knowledge in the given point of time. So this is the classroom. And make students responsible learners. During pandemic, we have somehow achieved this goal that the students, most of the students have become the self-learners and independent learners and responsible learners, because the onus was lying on them to create the environment for the students to reflective learners. Now, whatever the child, if he has learned some certain things, and if he can reflect whether I have learned it, or is it enough? Can I research a little more? Can I twist it? Can I turn it? Or can I use it? Can I apply it? That becomes the reflective learner. And to promote environment for the social development and physical environment, which was missing during this pandemic. To ensure the safety and security of the student, if the teacher says that this class is absolutely safe and I am responsible for this class safety, security, because I own this class, then students become more comfortable. If you know certain things, it's fine. If you do not know, I am there for you. I am always a support for you. They are secured. So this kind of a feeling has to be inculcated in the classroom. Now, next comes, very important, is to create a happy learning environment. When the child is, end of the day, the child is happy, he is enjoying himself. So this is how we go about. And then we come to next is what is classroom management. So the classroom management is basically teachers' readiness to take class. Is the teacher ready? Has she prepared the content? Has she prepared the activity? What new she is going to give to the children? Is she a happy teacher? Very important. The sad teacher? No, children will not like. So a big smile on the face and appropriately dressed and with the happy mood, the teacher's readiness is excellent. Being prepared, are you being prepared for the class? Have you done your homework? Are you motivating the children? Are you organized within your own periphery to deliver everything on the moment or at the time? Or are you providing the safe, comfortable and interesting learning environment to the children? That's very important. Are you building the self-esteem of each and every child? Because the teachers are it's very, very common amongst the teaching faculty that they name the child or they pass the sarcastic remarks or they put down the child. No, it's absolutely no. The child's morals and his self-esteem is very, very important. And once you build the self-esteem and keep on motivating him, he becomes a positive personality. He excels in his future. So this is the teacher who's going to help in molding his personality. And creative and imaginative class is very important. So teacher has to promote that, and effective discipline, because during online, teacher eye, some students are putting off their camera, some students are putting on their audios, and there is environmental noises, all sorts of things have happened. But we have to manage it. The teacher has not stopped teaching. She has managed everything. She has to manage the physical class also, and they have been managing. So this is what the classroom is all about. Now, next we come to, there are three very important factors that influences the classroom management. One is teacher's professional characteristic. Very, very important. How casual the teacher is, how professional the teacher is. Professional does not mean the teacher cannot be friendly to the child. No, she is a mother, she is a guide, she is a mentor, and she is a guru of a child. So within this profile of a teacher, how she is delivering the professional characteristics of a teacher, then that teacher becomes very popular. I still remember that I had one teacher whose name was Pushpin, and she was my English teacher. I used to simply admire her persona, because she used to be always so well dressed. She used to speak with smile, and she used to always be so cheerful. And at the same time, her class used to be always so much in discipline. So she was absolutely perfect teacher, and today also English is my favorite subject because of her. Now, second most popular characteristic is key factor is teaching skills. What is the method of teaching? How teacher can attract children and explain the concept. I remember we had one teacher. He used to teach. He used to play cricket in the class, and he used to teach mathematics, ratio, proportion, counting, subtraction, then all these kind of concepts. He taught them through playing cricket in the class with small ball which was made up of newspaper and a big notebook, A3 size notebook, that was his bat. And children used to keep all the benches aside and used to actually play cricket with the children. So his teaching style was so beautiful that no child would like to miss, and they knew everything what teacher had taught. I remember the second teacher used to bring guitar in the class and used to sing and teach physics. And so many principles of physics were taught with guitar. That was amazing experience. And there are teachers who use sensorial learning to make the concepts beautiful. They use inquiry methods so frequently that the class becomes so buzzing and interactive. So if teacher knows proper teaching skills, then the class is fantastic, and the concept is never forgotten in the class. Especially the English language. So when you have to teach the genres of writing, like argumentative writing or effective writing or articles or report writing, you can have so many activities which will actually it becomes a role play and children enjoy writing. Then classroom climate. Classroom climate is also very important. Do you want the silent class? Absolutely, because I have seen when I was visiting one school, the children were moving from one class to, they had a break time, and the children were sitting on the benches and they were having their munch. So they were having their munch, putting their one finger, and when they were eating, they used to remove and again put one finger. And they were going to the loo, they were going in line with one finger on their mouth and one hand behind. I mean, this kind of environment. I have seen another school where the children were free, buzzing class, enjoying class, but learning was taking place. So it all depends on the classroom climate, the kind of climate you create in your school, the kind of a climate you expect. That's very, very important to give away what you want to give to the child. Next we come, every class is not same for every teacher. So it depends on the teaching style. I may be different from her, but I am effective. Personality of the child, her attitude towards how she's dealing with the class. Not all management strategies are effective for every teacher and every class. So this class may require more motivation and more activity, but other class which is at a little different level, so they need little more other intellectual activities. So these are the different strategies can be tried in different classes, and it works wonders. So next we go to techniques for the better classroom control. I have seen in my experience. So whenever you would like to conduct any class, the class is of 35 minutes. You have already divided your lesson for 5 minutes for introduction, 5 minutes for imparting knowledge, 20 minutes for imparting knowledge, 5 minutes for recapitulation, 5 minutes of testing. You have divided your class. But what you are expecting from the class, you're not getting. So it is very, very important to invest at least 5 minutes of your class in orientation and induction. Now, what do you mean by that? Orientation means you first, when you go to the class, greet the class and tell them Today we are here for this much of time, and I have divided the time in these slots. Now, what is induction? I expect from you that you are going to do this at this time, this at this time, this at this time. You are going to do a worksheet, you are going to do a dictation, you are going to solve the problems, you are going to read, or whatever you have decided. And I expect the students to follow this. And what teacher is going to do? I am going to do this, you are going to do this. By the end of the class, I expect this. Teachers believe it, those who are teaching believe it. If you follow this formula of orientation and induction to the class for 5 minutes in the beginning of the lesson, you see the effectivity. It's way different than you have not told them and just started your lesson. So it's very, very important. Now focus attention on the entire class. You cannot choose that I'm looking at this child, or I'm looking at this child, or this row, and I'm teaching. Your attention should be everywhere, and you have to give due importance to all the students in the class. Silence can be effective at time, but not always. Use softer voice in the class. You see, shouting and raising your voice will not scare the children or will have the better class control. No. So in preschool especially, when you say that students are very young, you come down to the level of the child's height, sit down and have an eye contact and talk very softly. The baby, I want this, this. You see the response. And the same thing when you stand and you say loudly, you see the response. There are two different things. And the softer voice and coming to the eye level will give you better and much more reward than this. Now direct your instructions so that students know what is going to happen. This orientation and induction, and the instruction should be absolutely clear, so students can follow and you don't have to scream, shout, or get angry. Next is monitor the groups of students to check the progress. So it is kind of differentiated learning. This group is doing this group is doing this group is doing this, and how I can juggle around and see the better performance and who needs what. Move around the room gives the better class control rather than just sitting or standing. Next, give students non-verbal cues. Your facial expressions, your body language speaks a lot. So there are some experienced teachers, senior teachers who are very comfortable in giving the non-verbal cues. So non-verbal cues sorts out your 50% of problem in maintaining the class discipline. Make sure that classroom is all happy classroom. The classroom is very happy classroom, and arrange your resources prior to the classroom. Okay, so next we come prepared for the classroom. That is very, very important for the teacher. And show confidence in your teaching. There are so many teachers, though sometimes they open their books, sometimes they open their notes, sometimes they look at the boards, sometimes the PPT is prepared. If you're confident of your own content and the activity, you have won half the battle. Learn students' names. An effective teacher should know the names of all the students. Keep students engaged all the time. Keep extra activities with you. If this thing fails, I can implement this. Or if I have an extra time, I can give this. Or the students finish, there are in the class, there are about 10 to 15 students, those who are higher IQ, finishes the work fast, give them extra activities. So it is very, very important. And in case the teacher is absent, you can give the work. Now with itsness. With itsness refers to a teacher who is aware of what's going on in the class. Basically, it's having eyes at the back of your head. The teacher knows exactly who's going to do what and how to handle the entire class. So it's very, very important that the teacher has to be alert. The teacher should be able to handle the misbehavior of the child, not by screaming, shouting, this, that, but there are 101 strategies. Counseling can come in this matter, and lot many things can be helped to the child. And do not get angry and stressed because I was not able to handle the class. The class was so noisy. This one has told me that when the teacher gets hassled, then how will she handle the class? Deal the misbehavior without disturbing your teaching learning activity. So it's not, doesn't mean that you give the punishment to the child, but yes, counseling, giving the importance, giving showcasing his positive points, outstanding points, and also counseling gives a better footage. Teacher's persona, very important, very, very important. Teacher's eye contact, facial expressions, gestures, physical proximity to the students, and the way you carry yourself to communicate what you are in control of the other classes and means to be taken seriously. What is to be taken seriously, what is not to be taken seriously is very important. As I have discussed in earlier slide, teacher's persona, where she gives the non-verbal cues. There are teachers who can just stand in the class and the class is absolutely quiet and happy and they are doing well. There are teachers who goes in the class, they keep shouting, keep quiet, do this, do that, nobody bothers. So it depends on the teacher's persona and she has to train herself accordingly. Be free to roam around and avoid turning back to the class, because many teachers, when they are writing on the chalkboard, they give their full back to the class. So they are just writing on the board, and what the class is doing at the back, she doesn't know. Be conscious about what you speak, and personal remarks should be strictly avoided. Do not use sarcasm. Have strong communication skills, use good vocabulary. These are the very, very important characteristics of a good teacher. Speak only to people when they are ready to listen. If the class is going on making noise and teacher is also teaching, I have one teacher with me who keeps on teaching and the class is on, masti, this. So they are not ready to listen. Why are you teaching them? So first they speak when they are ready to listen, and be presentable, have an appropriate attire, systematic and acceptable attire, dressing sense should be absolutely to the mark, so you are welcomed by the children. So next we go to sorry. Now, essential agreements. This particular essential agreement is very useful in the beginning of the academic year. Whenever we have to design the policies, procedure of the class, what are the do's and don'ts are the essential agreements which are actually designed by the students, agreed by the students, documented by the students, and followed by the students. So basically it is by the student, for the students, with the student, all that. Students should decide, draft and display the behavioral policies of the class. Students should decide the reward and consequences of accepted and unaccepted behavior. Then only you will get proper cooperation and coordination from the class, because the rewards and consequences are decided by them. So they know if there is any kind of unaccepted behavior, they are only going to follow it. Formalize statements that provide students with general guidelines for the type of behavior they are required and type they are prohibited. So these are all the parts of essential agreements. Few rules are easier to remember rather than a big list of rules and regulations which are not effective at all. Next we come, each rule is very, very important, and it should be in a large font to be displayed in the classes. These are the few policies which the teacher should be familiar with.
Repetition.
So these are the few
What time is your class?
Policies. Are you able to see? Hello?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. So be familiar with the school policies. So sometimes we come across when we say, teacher, why did you do this? Oh no, I was not aware of this. So why have you punished the child? Why were you using the cell phone? Nobody told me, I was not aware of this. This is a common answer what we get from the teachers. So it's very, very important to get familiar with the schools policies, procedures, and also the emergency procedures. That's very important for the teacher. Field trip policies, which is also another risk, which is very important. Accident reporting procedures are very, very important. Reporting wherever the child is at risk, the teacher needs to be very cautious and careful, and she should know that where and how to follow the rule to avoid any kind of mishap or any kind of disadvantage. So basically, this is how we have connected the management with the classroom. It's like, if you are sick, go for the testing. These are the reports, rectify those things and come back, then you are absolutely fine. So management and classrooms is related with each other, and once you follow the principles of management in your classroom also, you will hit the right nail at the right point, and your classroom is absolutely fine. You will be adored, you will be admired, your children are going to like your subject, and you will be in great demand. You must have seen that there are some teachers, those who are in great demand, and especially in higher grades. And I had one teacher. He used to come every day, but sometime once he had taken long leave, and again he came back. I had full strength. And so whenever this teacher used to come to school on visits, students were sick. If the sick child was also there at home, he used to come back. No, the teacher has come, I need to attend the class. So there are some teachers, those who are extremely liked by the students. So we have to, if we balance out the principles of management and classroom management, will become fantastic, and you will be great teacher. So here I would like to conclude with that you can make a difference to each of your child. Just keep in mind that let it be a positive one. And this is, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We could see how right from the first dimension of management, that is right from planning, finally to feedback and review, and how one can improvise. It's a cycle, and a teacher has to always be prepared to plan for every single class every day. Thank you for sharing little anecdotes, examples of different kinds of teachers. Thank you for all the tips and the techniques that you have shared. We are really fortunate to have Mrs. Vaz with us today. Ma'am is the Vice Chairperson of MISA and a Senior Advisor at Tamnabai Nursery International School. Ms. Vaz, I would like you also to share your wisdom with us.
Ma'am, unmute yourself, please.
Yes. Thank you, Jaya. And good afternoon to each one of you. I am overseas, not in the school, not in India, but I was happy to listen to Dr. Kavita. And it is very, very important that we teachers become not ramp models, but role models to our children. When she spoke about classroom agreements, I was thinking of a staff room agreement, which is very important for us to know what exactly, how to do the classroom agreement. We have to do a staff room agreement to see how we respect each other, how we help each other, how collaborative and cooperative we are with our understanding pedagogy, and how we share with each other. Cambridge education is all the time talking about interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary, and multidisciplinary approaches. If we have certain agreements made in the staff room, I know there are many staff rooms. One is for the preschool, one is for the primary, perhaps, one is for the secondary. Wherever it is, we are teachers. That would help us a lot to help the new teachers that come in. We know we have a staff room agreement. This is what has to be followed, and it is we have drafted it, and we are accountable to what we have decided. And that is my suggestion. Thank you, Kavita. It was a very nice, interesting talk, sharing your experiences. We teachers make or mar the future of our children. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much for these nuggets of wisdom. Like ma'am has said, the Cambridge attributes that have also been covered in this talk, they actually apply to Cambridge mentors, Cambridge teachers, the same attributes. Like ma'am said, when we talk of interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary, multidisciplinary approach, we have to realize that teachers are teachers' best resources. We build each other's strengths. If we can develop that kind of working relationship, we don't have to look out for any kind of assistance for our own development. There is a lot of resource within our own institution, within our own staff, within our own teaching communities, little teaching and learning communities. Thank you so much, ma'am. It also reminds me of something I've read. I think it is a thought by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehruji. He said, the future of the nation is decided by the kinds of talks happening in the class, in the staff rooms of schools. I could feel goosebumps when I think of that thought, because it's so true. And how you talk of children in the staff room, it deeply impacts every teacher's relationship with each child. Ma'am had mentioned about labeling children. And I feel what we can carry from, one of the points that we can carry from ma'am's talk is, let us not label, but enable children. It has been a fantastic 1 hour listening to Dr. Kavita ma'am, and a beautiful wrapping up comment by Mrs. Vaz. If there are any questions and thoughts that our participants would like to share, please unmute yourselves and go ahead.
Thank you, Jaya. Thank you very much.
So, ma'am, we can see appreciative remarks on today's talk.
Thank you.
And thank you for keeping it compact. Within a small time frame, you have delivered so many pieces of information, which will go a long way in making our classrooms very effective. This is a small little thank you video, which expresses our love and
How
gratitude.
sweet of you. Thank you so much. Such a lovely one. Thank you.
Thank you, and we hope we soon meet in the school. I extend that invitation for visiting us to all the participants, all the non-RRIS participants. Mrs. Vaz, I hope you have a great stay there. Come back soon. We would like to meet you. It has been really long. And we also look forward to the presence and blessings and support of all our patrons, all our friends for the next 75th Aadharshila talk. Yes, next Monday is the 75th Aadharshila Talk, and we would like to celebrate reaching this milestone with all of you. Looking forward to your presence on 29th of November, next Monday, for the 75th talk, to be delivered by Mr. Mr. Joshi ji, who is a Padma Shri awardee, a very well-known, accomplished actor. So see you then.
Thank you.
Until then, take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Kavita ma'am.
Thank
Pranams
you.
to you.
Ma'am, tomorrow executive meeting. Tomorrow 4 o'clock.
Yeah, we are meeting, ma'am. 4 p.m.
4 o'clock. Ma'am, you're unmute. Unmute yourself, ma'am.
Sorry. Yes, Kavita, I'll be there. For
Tomorrow,
the meeting.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
We would like to discuss a couple of proposals. So that's why I called the meeting for tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Ma'am, we still have other participants here.
Yes.
Let's not give our agenda to
Okay.
We're not members of executive committee.
Yes.
Anyway, there are no
Anyway, that
secrets
was
in
just
this.
fun.
When we discuss,
Yeah,
there are
of
no
course.
secrets, Jaya. Yes.
And whatever we discuss, it's going to be for the benefit of all the teachers.
Precisely.
That's for
Yes.
sure.
All right.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye, ma'am.
All right. Bye-bye, ma'am. Take care. Thank you so much, Dr. Kavita.
Bye. Bye.
See you
Should I
soon.
log out?
Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
sure.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye,
you,
bye.
ma'am. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Stay and take care.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Bye, ma'am.